This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore.
So the other day I did a video talking about the surprise hearing that took place with the January 6th Select Committee investigating the insurrection, the attempted overthrow of the United States government, albeit a failed coup. And I talked about Cassidy Hutchinson, the star witness that day. And I talked about how I believed that people were hero-fying. I don't know if I actually used that word. It's something that someone said in quotes. So I'll take them at their word that I said it. There's no script here. I'm going to read emails, so it's not like a script. And I pointed out that maybe she's not as good a person as everybody says. She voted for Donald Trump not once, but twice. She worked for Donald Trump on January 6, 2021. After having seen and witnessed everything he had done up to that point, she was still loyal in MAGA world. I said she's not a great person. Maybe I said she's not a good person. Maybe I said she's a bad person. People took issue with that. A lot of people agreed. Fair enough. But some people disagreed. Allies disagreed. Democrats disagreed. People who are loyal viewers of the program, maybe former loyal viewers of the program. And I've got three emails here and a voicemail I'm going to play. And then I'm going to talk about my reasoning behind the things that I said and why I still stand by them. Let's start with this email from Jody. Dear Jesse, you say Hutchinson is not a hero, but it takes a lot of courage to not only give numerous depositions, but to go public under oath before the American people, and knowing she was under threats. Maybe she did make the wrong party choice, but she came forward when she could have kept silent or voiced the party lines like so many others. So shame on you for vilifying her and her testimony. I'm going to read the next. I'll just say I didn't vilify her testimony at all. Dear Mr. Dollemore, this first paragraph just says that they were subscribed. They were actually a channel member for a while. They stopped giving, and then they found my work important, so they came back, indicating that they're a listener. They're a viewer. They're a, I don't know, fan, but they're interested in the work, and they believe what I'm doing is important. They're a supporter. However, I just watched the video you posted on June 30th, 2022, show titled Donald Trump Freaked Out During the January 6th Hearing yesterday, and I was disturbed by some of the things you said about Cassidy Hutchinson, including that she is, quote, not a good person, end quote, and that we should stop heroifying these idiots. Sounds like something I would say. Just because you disagree with her position on certain issues, and the fact that she is a Trumpist does not make her a bad person. We all have the right to think and believe what we want to, and just because it differs from what we think and believe does not make that person with opposing thoughts or beliefs bad. I too disagree with her stance on issues such as abortion and gay rights, but she did a good thing and noble thing by coming forth and testifying before the January 6th committee. She could have pleaded the fifth or hidden behind her attorneys, but she didn't. She could have also just replied with basic answers and left out a lot of details. However, not only did she testify, she went into great detail about conversations she overheard or were involved in and actions that she observed or were told about. In my opinion, she should be respected and admired for her courage. According to the dictionary, a hero is a person who is admired or idealized for courage or outstanding achievements or their noble qualities. It took courage for her to come forward and agree to testify. She seems like a highly intelligent person and has been working in politics for years, so I'm sure she was aware of the risk to her safety and the negative consequences and backlash that she would face by coming forward and testifying. But she did it anyway. You should be able to state that you disagree with her on certain issues, but acknowledge that what she did was a brave and noble thing. One should not negate the other. Very disappointed, V. Now let's play a voicemail and then one more email, and then I'm going to respond to all of this. Here's that voicemail.
Brother Jesse, Paul, the old frog pilot, I disagree with something you said. You were saying about Cassidy Hutchinson not being a good person. She has all these terrible beliefs, political stances, and I agree that those are terrible beliefs and stances, but that, it doesn't mean she's a bad person. For example, in my family, most of my family is still in the thrall of religious superstition. And some of the young people have those same values. They're not bad people, but that's the pot that they marinated in as young sponges. And you and I, men of the world, anyway, you and I reevaluated our dots. We also were raised in a very religious environment, but we reevaluated, we reconnected the dots. That is not anything encouraged by conservative society by its very nature. In fact, speaking of the Middle East, the word for innovation is connected to heresy, because if anything is new, it's automatically suspect because the old ways are best. Give me that old time religion, etc. Anyway, so I think it's a distinction. We don't want to say these people are bad because they hold these views. Especially, I think religion actually I consider a form of child abuse. So they're defenseless. And that's the commies and religious folks say, "Give me the young," like the Jesuits and Nazis. Well, what a coincidence. Anyway, Semper Fi, brother.
Semper Fi. So I'm going to skip that last email. You get the point. I got a lot of communication related to this. It was all throughout the comments. There were several other emails. And I just want to give you a flavor for the discontent out there, the disagreement. One, I believe we can disagree agreeably. I would hope that if you disagree with me on something, it doesn't mean you're going to stop watching. We should all challenge one another's beliefs, just like these emails and voicemails have done to me. They have challenged the things that I say, the things that I believe. They didn't alter my opinion, and I'll tell you why. If you believe that people with immutable characteristics should be treated unequally, you're not a good person. If you don't believe in equality for the LGBTQ community, you're not a good person. If you believe that women should be second-class citizens and not have bodily autonomy, I don't believe you to be a good person. As far as the claim that she could have pled the fifth, that's not true. Unless she believes that her actions, by telling her testimony, by swearing an oath to tell the truth under penalty of perjury, by doing that, by testifying against herself, it would be incriminating, then she could have pleaded the fifth. But otherwise, no. So this is not just a disagreement on different positions. This isn't someone who believes we should not have a progressive tax policy versus someone who does. This isn't someone who has libertarian leanings in their beliefs. This is someone who fundamentally disagrees about human rights. And to the caller, I believe the caller's name is Paul. When I did believe those things, I don't believe I was a good person. Now, I've long ago jettisoned any belief that gays are not fully deserving of civil and human rights. Long ago, that was in my early Christian evangelical brainwash days. But in those days, when I was an adult and held those positions, like 18, 19, not a good person. That is bad news. So listen, two things can be true. What was the thing that V said at the end of the email? She said, as I search for it here and fumble through my thing, maybe we'll have to do a jump cut. I hope not. The two things can exist. You should be able to state that you disagree with her on certain issues, but acknowledge that what she did was brave and noble thing. One should not negate the other. Absolutely not. You can be brave. You can show courage. You can have admirable qualities and still be a bad person. But for me, maybe not for you, for me, if you don't believe in the fulsome doling out administration of equal human rights, you don't meet the bar of good person. In fact, I would double down, you are indeed a bad person. So I hope that this is, I hope this comes across as more of a lesson in being able to disagree about things. Listen, I don't think any one of these people who emailed me and disagreed is bad. And I hope they wouldn't think I am bad. I hope that you would know that I have a heart for humanity. I have a heart for the betterment of our country, for progress, for all of our people. And just because I have this, what you may believe to be a recalcitrant view about this, you shouldn't shut me off. If you do, that's a choice you're going to make. And there's nothing I'm going to do to change your mind. But I believe we always need to keep listening to one another. Anyway, I'd love your thoughts on this. You can call, as always, leave me a brief voicemail, 714-576-4054. Of course, you can email me, daily@dollemore.com. I would love to hear from you. I'd also love to hear from you on social media. You can follow me on Twitter, @Dollemore, Instagram, @Dollemore, and TikTok, @Dollemore. If you're still in the mood to watch my stupid face and listen to my dumb voice, and you'd like to contribute to my work, you can click the join button below, become a channel member for $1.99 a month, just pennies a day, until you decide that I said something dumb that you don't like, and then you can stop it. You can also go over to patreon.com/IDoubtItPodcast. Anyway, I love you guys. I appreciate you so much. I'll see you next time. Until I do, be genuine. Take care of one another.